Good morning. Good morning and happy Monday. We have Boogie in the house here. Good morning, Jeanette. Good morning, Tammy.
If you're in the house, say hey in the comments because
good morning, Sterling.
We can't see everyone who's here. We can't see. We can see there's a lot of people, but we don't know who you are except for Ashley and Tammy and Sterling and Jeanette.
And Ashley Riddle.
I said that one.
Oh, okay.
And Boogie also is here.
Boogie wanted to make an appearance today, but Boogie wants to tell you all that him had.
Hi, Boogie. Oh, yeah, Erin and Sarit too.
Him had a very active weekend, and now I'm very tired.
He's really tired. He was like, I really want to make an appearance, but I'm going to need you to pick me up because I can't jump.
And if you guys can see, he's falling asleep on Erin's lap. It's so cute. Boogie, you're going to be on the show and you're going to do great things today. Are you going to tell them what we're going to talk about today, Boogie?
We're going to talk about 8 things they need to make a transformation.
So look, today is Monday. Carlos, good morning. I think that's a new name. If you're new to watching this show, do us a favor and tell us where you're from and what you're hoping to get out of this. So today's Monday, and Monday is a day where, you know, this is what I like to call the momentum builder of the week. Right?
Momentum Monday.
I know that, you know, right now with everything that's going on, like every day, whether it's Monday or Tuesday or Saturday, it all feels the same. However, today's Monday, and Monday is the momentum builder of the week. So, you know, when wanting to start on a clean slate or reinvent yourself, right now is a really good time to reinvent yourself. And you know, if you listen to the interview with Richie Dolan last Thursday, we talked about the word reinvention a lot, right? So because of this quarantine and isolation and the situation that we're in, this is an opportunity for everybody to reinvent themselves, okay? Now, today we want to talk about the different things that you're going to need in order to make it happen for you. Good morning for everybody who's jumping in the room. So the first step to any sort of reinvention or change, if you like to call it, is what we like to call awareness. So you have to become aware. And
not like Boogie. He's very unaware.
And in order for you to do that, you have to be honest with yourself. And you have to be clear, very clear on what it is that you want. So now, oftentimes what we hear is things that people don't want. Guess what? Thoughts become things, and if you spend most of your energy talking about things that you don't want, you're going to end up getting what you don't want. So
because your action will align with what your continuous thoughts are.
Right.
So if you continue to think something, your actions will end up eventually aligning with that, and the actions built up will give you the result. So be careful about what you're thinking. Step 1.
So, you know, for anybody who has notes right next to them, you know, take a second to write that down and get honest with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I want?
For example, somebody would say, I don't want to keep gaining weight, rather than saying, I want to lose weight. Or I don't want to crave sugar, rather than I want to have control over my sugar cravings. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's the differentiator.
Yeah. So, you know, the way that you're wording what it is that you want to get out of your reinvention is your step 1. Okay, become aware, be honest, okay? And when you're being honest, you want to use positive language, like watch yourself, like things like words like don't or anything with a derogatory meaning. Switch the script in a sense that you're gonna say it in a different way. Like, how can you say it in a more positive way? Cool? Are we clear on that?
Good. Moving on.
So the next thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to really need to start developing discipline. So now this is a really good time to start developing discipline because, you know, there's a few reasons. For one, your time is now, right? I know that some people might want to argue with me on this. We have more time on our hands in the sense that a lot of things have stopped. Even if you're an essential worker or, you know, you're super either busy or accomplished, like, your time is now, right? Like, all you can control is the now, and therefore it's time to start developing discipline. And, you know, it's moments like this that really expose the gap and our weaknesses that, for one, give us an opportunity to develop discipline, and for two, show us the importance of discipline. For one, for anybody who is in the house right now, I want to give you a huge shout out, because if you're in the West Coast and you're watching this, we have 22 people in the room right now, then, you know, you're still up and early. How many people in your life right now that you're speaking to, oh, hey, how are you doing? Like, when you're catching up with them, they're like, you know, every day like seems like a Sunday. I now wake up at 10 a.m. You know, like, I've been eating whatever. No, like, your discipline starts from the decision that you make to set your alarm the night before the day of. So, like, wake up at an early time, right? Like, start the day right. Obviously, you know, you're listening to this show. Amazing. Get moving afterwards. Work out. Make sure that you're feeding your body with good food, hydrating properly and hydrating enough, and also, like, filling your mind with positivity, or like choosing to develop skills that, you know, you wanted to for a really long time. Your time is now, and discipline is essential, because unless you're an essential worker, you don't have to be anywhere, okay? Which gives you the opportunity to develop your discipline. However, if you don't have discipline, you're going to go down. That's just the reality of it. We good with step 2?
I would like to say a word, which is, discipline is a muscle that you have to flex consistently in order to actually feel like you have the discipline. And with discipline comes control. And a lot of people don't have self-control or lack self-control. And it comes with practicing discipline. So even if it's the tiniest thing, it's about you sticking to your word. Practicing discipline is you sticking to your word. So even if it's the tiniest thing, there must be follow through. There must be completion. And that then yields empowerment and accomplishment and motivation to continue going further and practicing your discipline even more, right? So even if it's the tiniest thing, make sure you just do it every single day and treat it like a discipline, like a habit, like a practice. And that's how you begin to build. And then when you get really used to that and that thing becomes the new normal, then find something else that is then a little bit more challenging and practice your discipline again.
Mm-hmm. The next thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to start developing skills that you know that will make you better. Again, for the same obvious reason as before. You don't have to be anywhere. Like, you know, invest in yourself. We know that this could be a time of contraction. However, in the case that you're contracting, you might as well contract while making sure that you're getting better, because we're all going to come out of this at some point, right? However, when you come out of it on the other end, you want to make sure that you've come out of it being a better person.
Or it's like we're all going to make it through this.
Right.
But how do you want to make it through this is the question.
Yeah. So the next few are going to help you get the direction with regards to What is it that you should develop your skills on, invest in yourself on in a time of contraction? So you're gonna have to ask yourself some questions, and your first question is, make a list of what's important to you and what's not important to you. Like, we can tell, and this is something that we talk about all the time, we can tell what things are important to you by looking at your spending habits, by looking at your credit card bill, right? So what you'll want to do is you'll want to go to your bank account and really see what you've spent your money on. And like, if you want to reinvent yourself, you're now going to start rating everything that you've spent your money on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay? 1 means not important at all, and 5 means I can't live without it.
And get real with yourself.
Get real.
Because most things we can live without.
Right. So like anything that you would rate as either a 1 or a 2.
The money tells the truth.
Right, exactly, Michael. A 1 or a 2 is either like not important at all or just not important. Like ditch it. Right? This is how you're making more room for what matters. The reality is right now is your time to reinvent yourself. And in order to do that, you need to make some form of investment. I've been seeing like so many offers in so many places. I know that like for our group, we did a wellness challenge. We started one 2 weeks ago. Like there's a bunch of opportunities. You have to gravitate towards what matters to you. That's 1. But in order for you to do that, you're going to have to get very real on what is not as important in my life right now. What is unnecessary? Get rid of that so that you can make more room for what matters. Now, look, this kind of really, the next thing that we're going to talk about, it's my notes.
I don't even know what she wrote. I'm just a stand-in today.
So the next thing that we're going to talk about is kind of related to the discipline muscle.
Boogie and I will just be over here looking cute.
There's discipline with regards to many areas of our lives. There's discipline with regards to how you treat your body, what food you put in your body, how much sleep you give your body, how you spend your money, how you spend your time, so on and so forth. That is all discipline. However, something that's super important to realize, because this is an excuse, okay, that some of you who are in the room might find it a reason, however we call it an excuse, is saying, I don't have enough time. Look, we call bullshit on that because everybody in the world has the same amount of hours in the day, and that's 24 hours. Yes, some people might have more responsibilities than others, but it doesn't mean that they don't have any time. It just means that it's time for you to level up your time management skills. And step 1 for everything is always to create awareness. And what you want to do with regards to that is you want to inventory your time. So literally, like, I think that the simplest, non-crazy way to do that is to literally break down your day into 30-minute slots. And like every 30 minutes, like, what are you doing right now? This will allow you to make more time and make room within your day for what actually matters.
I have something to say about time, if I may.
Yes.
Okay, great. Time is the most valuable resource, and you may have heard that before, and it sounds very cliche. It is. It's also the truth. Time, similar to money, can be spent. However, time cannot be remade. You cannot get more of time. You can always get more money. You cannot get back any time that you spent. So choose how you spend it, right? Everybody has 24 hours, okay? You're gonna spend your resource, time, on what is important. Whatever is the most important. And don't say, no, that's not true, because it is true. Otherwise, you wouldn't be spending your time doing it, right? So if you're spending, I'm not going to say wasting, because it's not my place to say what you have to do with your time. But to me, time spent on social media where I'm not helping people or doing what I need to do on there, if I'm mindlessly scrolling, to me, that's a waste of my time. If you're spending time scrolling through Instagram, you could even take an inventory of the time spent, just like you take an inventory of your money spent. Because if you go through and you say, how much time am I spending on XYZ, that is a 1 out of 1 through 5, completely unnecessary, then the only necessary thing about Instagram is for you to find us and follow us. So other than that, you don't need Instagram. And so if you're spending your time doing things and you're like, oh wow, that's actually a waste, I see it as a waste, then you do have time, because you can exchange what you're doing in that same time. So go through your day, and like Sarit said, unless you're essential, like I know a lot of people who are working extra insane hours right now, and that is more responsibility. However, it is still a choice for you to go to work, right? You want to get paid, you want to make a living, you want to stay alive, you want to keep your house. So you make a choice to go to work because it is that important. That you keep your house, that you have food on the table. All these things are important. So you choose to go to work, which is valid, right? But everything is a choice. Everything you do, every action you take, every word you say, every thought you think is a choice. So you get to choose. And that is the beauty in this freedom. Is like you get to choose where you spend your time and what you're doing with that time. And is it moving you forward? Is it getting you closer to where you want to be in life? Is it getting you steps towards the goals that you have with your health, your fitness, your body, your work, your income, your relationship, your whatever? Or is it doing 0 things for you?
Yeah.
Because if it's doing nothing, you don't need it. And boom, ta-da, you have more time.
This is how you make space.
They can hear him snoring.
for what matters. It's like, oh mama, I woke up now. So, this is about you making space for what matters, because time is limited for everybody, right? It doesn't matter whether you have 3 responsibilities or 5. It is limited for everybody because it is going in a forward progression, which nobody has control over of. Okay?
Control over of. I love how you say that.
For anybody who's new, who's just jumping in the room, by the way, if you don't know us yet, for 1, welcome. We're stoked to have you. For 2, I was not born in this country, and English is a second language, so a lot of times I say things funny. You're just going to have to get used to it.
It's adorable.
The next thing that you're going to inventory, other than just time, is also your contacts. Look, you become the top 5 people that you surround yourself around with most. So this is a real...
Say that again.
What?
Surround yourself around with the most. I don't know. I think that's how you said it. It's amazing.
I don't know how I say it. It just comes through me. Whatever.
I just can't help it because it's so cute.
So you become, the top 5 people that you surround yourself with. Whether it's 5 people or 10 people, it doesn't matter. Look, because this is your time to reinvent yourself, you really have to make sure that the people that you're spending time with are adding more value to your life and are helping you to level up. For example, right now we feel extremely honored and grateful that there's 25 people in the room listen to us, and we can only imagine that the reason why you showed up early in the morning is because you're expecting to gain some form of value from this, correct? Thumbs up if you're getting value from this, by the way. Now, I feel like because there's just a lot of negativity out there right now with the coronavirus. I mean, look, we can't escape it. It's just the reality of it, right? It's a lot easier to just let negativity like leak into your brain. However, your brain is like a sponge, right? And if you associate yourself with negativity on a more regular basis, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to become a more negative person. I want you to take a second to think about who is the last person that you spoke to that talked to you about the coronavirus.
Or it could just be the news.
Right. Like
if you're just absorbing the news on a regular basis, the news's job is to give drama.
Yeah.
Drama for you and your mama. And they will do anything that they can to keep you watching. And normally the drama is negative. So if you're absorbing that on a consistent basis, you're going to feel that, and you're going to put out that same energy, because that's what's in you.
So, after, think for a minute, after, you turn off your TV from watching your news, or, after you've spoken to somebody who just couldn't stop talking about, oh, did you hear about blah, blah. I know that we all have that one person in our lives. It is my mom. And here's the thing, like, you have to inventory your contacts, right? Like, think about how do you leave a conversation, or, a time spent listening to it or watching it. You leave drained and you leave scared, right? I know that's the truth. So look, like, for example, my mom I'm insanely grateful for her, and family, you can't really pick and choose, right? And I will not want to, pick any other mom regardless. Shout out to her. But she's horrible in situations like that. So you know what I tell her every time I call her? I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, did you hear blah, blah, blah? I'm like, so I stop her and I'm like, okay, let's take a second. And I'm like, do you realize that I asked you how you're doing and you're telling me about everything but you? Right? I know that you guys have at least one person in your life who acts that way. So I stop her and I'm like, okay, just so you know, I called you because I love you and I care about you and I want to show you respect. If you choose to keep on talking about the coronavirus, then I'm going to hang up. That might sound harsh. However, you guys have to protect yourself. It is absolutely your obligation, because your brain is what will create your life. Remember, because thoughts become things. So think about, most of the conversations that you have throughout the day, most of the thoughts that you have throughout the day. If your conversations are negative, you're not going to feel energized, empowered, disciplined. You're just going to be like, oh, woe is me. The world is coming to an end. I'm just going to listen to the news more and get more scared. No, it doesn't work that way.
I think people also share the bad news because they feel like if they know something that is news to somebody else, that they feel important. We all want to feel important, but I think that's some people's way of feeling important is by sharing maybe what is new news that somebody doesn't know. Like, oh, I know something you don't know, let me tell you. And I think that's, a lot of the reason why. And it's almost like it's people treat it as like a badge to be somehow affected by what's going on, like somehow negatively affected because you get maybe some kind of sympathy or something. Like, now, I don't say that because I don't care about the people who are negatively impacted. I think the entire world is negatively impacted in one way or another. However, how you choose to respond and move forward is up to you. So you can let it defeat you, and you can sit there and you can not do anything about it, and woe is me, I hope people feel bad for me. That's your choice. That's fine. I'm not going to hang out with you, but then you have the other choice to say, okay, where is the beauty within this, and what can I learn and gain from it, and how can I positively move forward to make my life the best it could possibly be, or my family's life the best it could possibly be.
Sarah just said we have to share conscious news. 100% agree. Yes. We have to stay updated. However, this is when you inventory who is it that you're choosing to get news out of. So for any of you guys who have a notepad right next to them, you should download or subscribe to the page called Morning Brew.
I'll make a post on our page, so it's very easy for you. There's one source and it takes 5 minutes to read, maybe 10 if you really go through it, but it's basically the facts of what is happening and no extra drama. And it's actually the way that they speak and talk about it is very light.
Yes.
It's not they make fun or it's funny, but it's they make light of it so that it doesn't have to be so harsh to absorb.
And it's very concise because yes, we all have to stay up to date in a time like this. However, like you have to inventory your time, you have to inventory your energy and who you're choosing to spend your time with. So like, for example, how we are kept up to date. We're not living in a bubble. We know what's going on. Is we read the morning brew every single morning. Takes like 5 minutes. We're up to date with everything. Okay, like our energy is good. Like there is nothing, like it is what it is. And like we're aware of what's happening, but we're not like drained.
We're not soaking in negativity.
Yeah.
It's just information. So I'll make a post with the link so you can just click on it and you can subscribe to it. It's free, but it's very effective and efficient.
Totally.
Can we see this?
He's so tired today.
It's amazing.
So because you're going to, you know, you're going to have to make room for new things, but in order for you to make room, you're going to have to put some things away. And that always requires making hard decisions. Yes, it's the truth. You know, in life, you get what you spend most of your time and energy on, right? So if you want to reinvent yourself, then you need to start, you know, learning something new, spending more of your time and energy doing something new and exciting, or something that will make you better and is more aligned with the person that you want to become. However, in order to do that, some things are going to be uncomfortable. Like if you're inventorying some people, maybe you're going to need to let them take a step back, take a back seat, which might not be, you know, something that's
Oh, he farted.
that's comfortable by any means. However, it's necessary. Something that we always say is weight loss is not so much about the weight that you lose, but who you become in the process.
Amen.
Everybody is like, oh, I want to lose, you know, if you have a weight loss goal, I want you to think about how much weight you want to lose and really get down to why. You know, in your journey, it's not so much about how you feel when you step on a scale, but it's the decisions that you've made and the actions that you've taken leading up to when you're stepping on the scale that basically suggests the reality of it. And I think that's why, yes, though the scale is not the only way to measure success, and we want to make sure that we're very clear on that because that is true, you know, the scale shows you the reality of it. The scale does not lie.
Well, the scale can be deceiving.
The scale can
be very deceiving. And I think that the reason why so many women, especially men maybe also, are disappointed by when they step on the scale is because they know the actions that they've taken have been the right ones. So their expectation is that the scale will go down. And if it doesn't, then they didn't meet their expectation. But they also are unaware of why the scale may not have gone down. But if you know in your heart you did the right thing all week and then you weigh yourself and you're like, I know for sure because I did X, Y, Z and it was good, and then the scale doesn't match what your thought was, then you feel defeated. But it may not be the truth.
Right. 100%. I agree with you on that. We've had a few topics on the scale, and we should probably have one soon too. Lastly, you know, the difference between a wish and a goal, or, you know, life just happening to you by chance versus you creating your own life and you being the engineer to your life, is really write down a list of what is it that you want to accomplish right now, and who is it that you are committing to surround yourself more with, and, you know, what are you committing to do in order to get there. Otherwise, you're just wishing. And a wish is not granted for anybody, because in life, you get what you want, but not just by saying, I want to lose 20 pounds. It's by you writing down not just how much weight that you want to lose, but by when. Right? When you give a date, right, an expected date to a specific goal, or what is it that you want out of life, suddenly it forces commitment. If you say I want to lose 20 pounds, but you don't say by when, then, I mean, you have all the time in the world to get it done, which means that you have a lot of ways to cop out of it. And that may not necessarily lead you to where it is that you want. Mm-hmm. So those are the 8 tools that you are going to need to have in your toolbox in order to reinvent yourself in this time. We hope that you found this useful, effective,
cute. Look at him.
Boogie, you're so
Look
sweet.
His little eye rolls match my neck rolls.
Just a heads up for anybody who's just joining us. If you found this episode useful and you're like, oh my God, I thought about 10 people during this who really need to listen to it because they sleep until noon every day and they're not doing anything.
Or I had 10 aha moments.
Then do us a favor. For 1, please share it. Okay. And for 2, we have
a community builder
challenge going on until Wednesday night. Okay, the person who invites the most amount of people between now and Wednesday is going to receive, if you haven't seen on the announcements, the X Endurance Immune Boost as well as a strategy call with us. Okay, both of which has a value of $211. Second place gets a strategy call with us. So this is a huge reward because we are on a mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that have transformed ours. And we know that your time is valuable. Like we say, you need to inventory your time. And if you're like, you know what, I spent half hour, inviting 1,000 people, cool, we want to reward you for that. Okay, just so you know, we are keeping track of who is in the lead.
This has been the most epic community builder challenge so far.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed, the group is growing. Like, I have to make a post. I feel like almost every day there's like, Facebook only lets you tag 50 people at a time in one post. So I have to then post in the comments more people because I don't get it by the time it hits 50. But anyways, thank you guys so much for whoever has invited people so far,
Yes.
And I know that you guys are so happy when you see those names come into the lives and into the group and make posts and comment on things. I know that you guys love to see your loved ones gaining or joining in on the fun. So thank you to you guys. We'll give Sergeant a pet for all of you. And I believe that's it. So thank you guys for showing up for yourselves, for us, for the world, for your families. Have an amazing day. We will see you, if you are in the burn zone, we'll see you at 8 for live workout. If you are not, then you should be. And we will see you tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. See ya.
Bye, guys.